Hello everyone, my name is Strange, and I believe that people should know the truth. Over the past few months, you have been constantly asking me if I have any information about the fate of Kate Middleton. I was silent. I was silent for a reason. I was collecting information, my agents in England used all their contacts, we checked thousands of anonymous denunciations and stories of former employees of Buckingham Palace. We conducted a thorough analysis of the information received. And now, I'm ready to break the silence and tell you the whole terrible truth about the secret of Princess Middleton. As always, in order to ensure safety, the story is given an artistic color. And so, I'm starting. Today, as 3 days ago, Kate was returning from political science classes from the London School of Economics and Political Science. It's funny, but at the same university she lectured on Roman law twice a month. Did she like it? I think so. A young girl, by the standards of the imperial family of the hereditary kings and queens of England, was driving along the avenue opposite Piccadilly Circus. Big Ben towered a little in the distance with its white dial. A silver Pontiac raced down the avenue. The driver, as always, was respectable and silent. Everything went as usual, according to the plan. But all this is deadly boring. The girl's sense of duty struggled with a sense of rebellion and a desire for dramatic changes. I was tired of everything and just wanted to relax. Today, right now. Although the thought of it was vague. It was cluttered with blocks of urgent and mundane plans. The driver looked ahead, but at the same time followed the protocol of the schedule and etiquette. Ms. Middleton, we are expected at the University of the Arts Museum in half an hour. Have you forgotten? The girl broke away from her thoughts, turned away from the window and smiled. Thank you, Charles. I remember, but my plans have changed somewhat. We'll go to the museum in an hour. I think I'll make it before the ceremony ends. But, the girl smiled. Charles, you and I are friends. Be a benefactor to me. The girl was smiling and pouting like a little child. Come on, Charles, please. The 50-year-old man shook his head condescendingly. The girl interpreted this gesture in her own way. Thank you, Charles. Take me to Central Park. I'll only be there for 1 hour, and you, my dear, will wait in the parking lot. Okay? The driver silently turned off the avenue towards the central London park. It wasn't far to go. At that moment, the driver did not think about the wishes of Princess Kate Middleton. Her wishes did not concern him. In the end, he personally carried out her orders. In parallel with this action, the events of a completely different moment unfolded, inextricably linked with Princess Kate Middleton. In the traffic, literally 200 meters from Pontiac, an unremarkable Citroën was driving, in which 3 young men dressed in tracksuits were sitting. The cut was almost the same, but the suits had different colors of dark shades. The driver stared ahead, keeping a sharp eye out for the princess's Pontiac. The tone was casual and phlegmatic, not expressing alarm. The object turned to the northwest, the intersection of Cromwell and King George Streets. One of the men in the back seat approached the driver. Don't draw attention, keep your distance, do not lose sight of it. The third man chuckled but didn't say anything out loud. He took out a notebook and wrote with a fountain pen. Is the baby going for a walk? He received a nod in response. It was not supposed to talk about this. Most likely the car was equipped with a wiretap for control. It was necessary to be careful. The 3 young men were active agents of the SAS Special Forces, now specializing in the protection of representatives of the royal family. These 3 guarded and ensured the control of Princess Kate Middleton. The briefing was short, the order was given verbally, but the commander then warned them quite specifically. Failure to comply with the order is equivalent to treason with all the ensuing consequences. However, these 3 were professionals. Others would not have been hired for such a job. The Citroën turned off at a street intersection and raced after the Pontiac. Stop at the main entrance. I'm on general surveillance and you 2 spread out and carefully guide the object. Do not approach, do not attract attention. The 2 guys nodded. A few minutes later, one of them depicted an athlete performing simple exercises right on the lawn of a park near vacationers picnicking on blankets. The second one bought himself a hot dog and coffee, walked slowly along the sidewalk. A portable mini speaker was built into the sunglasses. The object is 50 meters away from me. Turn to the pedestal of King Arthur. I'm following. I continue to observe. Kate was unaware of the presence of hidden guards. She thought that this issue had been resolved once and for all at the family council. She swore to be careful and obey the duty of a member of the royal family. The crown princes and the queen smiled and nodded their heads, but they had their own opinion on all this. Kate has been married for a long time, but apparently the bond of marriage with Prince William was not so much a sign of love as the same fulfillment of duty in strengthening the royal family and the birth of heirs. Kate shook her head. Family. A warm, kind word that sometimes presses like a rock. It's all very difficult. Kate increasingly felt the approach of depression. At first she struggled, tried to distract herself, immersed herself in work, classes and raising children. Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. Kate stood near the pedestal of King Arthur. Still, a little disguise did its job. She arrived on an inconspicuous Pontiac, tied a colorful greenish handkerchief on her head. She wore large sunglasses. No one recognized her except one person. A tall young man, no more than 25 years old, approached the pedestal from the sycamore alley. He was smiling. He came and stood next to Kate, also looking at the pedestal. He was silent. From the outside, it might seem that just two strangers are looking at the monument, studying it, getting aesthetic pleasure. One of the guards, the one who had recently been doing exercises and was now washing at the drinking fountain, pressed a thin laryngophone to his neck. A tall young man approached the object at 12 o'clock. The green code. Get ready. Kate and the guy who came looked at the monument for a few minutes. Then the guy turned on his toes and walked deeper into the park to the rides, some of which were not working. At the moment, this was the most unvisited part of the park. The amusement program opened only 2 hours later. Kate stood for a few more minutes and then also walked in the direction where the tall guy had gone. One of the guards followed, keeping his distance, but the unexpected happened. He felt a slight prick in the small of his back, took hold of his back in surprise, and a child ran in front of him, as if from under his arm. He turned around, smiled, pointed, and said, "Bang, bang." Consciousness began to fog up. "Stephen, Rob, the injection. I'm losing consciousness. Object." The security guard driver, who remained in the car, jumped out in a second, almost knocking over a couple strolling along the sidewalk. The second guard walked briskly to the pedestal and ran behind it, from where stone-paved paths led to the attractions. "The object has gone out of sight." It sounded in the earpiece. "Restore surveillance. I'll be coming in from the edge of the park in 5 minutes. The gathering point at the pedestal." "What's wrong with Quint?" "I don't care what's wrong with him. There are people around. Restore surveillance." 10 minutes later, both guards were breathing heavily at the pedestal. They didn't find Kate, nor did they find the tall guy. "She's gone. She disappeared into the water." "I see. What are we gonna do, Rob?" 15 minutes later, 2 helicopters were flying over the park. The usual walking and sightseeing Robinsons, but with a very specific purpose, to track the flow of people entering and leaving the park. Landmarks were given. Photo and video equipment with identification mode was installed on the helicopters. Those who walked in the park could also note the large number of quadricopters sweeping over the area. In the depths of the park, Kate and the guy joined hands. They hugged. "Harry, I've missed you so much." The guy put his finger to the girl's lips and did not let her finish. "Kate, today I want to tell you about myself. Everything, and to the end. You'll figure it out for yourself." Kate followed the guy trustingly, who was leading her by the hand. She did not realize how this handsome man could do this, speak and act exactly as she would like, at the right time, at the right moment. He talked, walked, even breathed the way she wanted. My head was clouded with feeling. Was it love? Kate didn't know. "What are you thinking about, dear? Don't think about your feelings. Just trust me." The girl was following the guy. She didn't know where. I was just walking. It seemed to her that he was reading her mind. "Honey, look at your feet." Kate looked down, and instead of a stone paving stone, she saw a rainbow shimmering with different colors. "Don't be afraid, dear. Trust me. Follow me." The last sentence sounded imperious. There was metal and strength in the voice. "Go ahead." Quint, Stephen, and Rob were unable to give specific explanations about where the object had gone. The case was leaked to the media and became public. Various theories and speculations were built about the disappearance of the princess. The husband and family members did not comment on the situation in any way, putting forward a very definite version. There was a closed trial within the command ranks of the Special Forces. The treason case has not been published or made public. It's just that Quint, Stephen, and Rob have ceased to exist. After a 12-hour interrogation, Princess Charles's driver testified that he occasionally took Kate on some dates, but with whom he did not know. Charles was sent to the same place as the special agents of the SAS who could not cope with the protection of one of the first persons. Kate was asleep and awake at the same time. People, events, and landscapes were changing in front of her. Everything was fine. My heart was calm and my soul was filled with euphoria. In those moments, she felt free, happy, and in love. Harry was there, holding her hand. "You're safe. Don't be afraid of anything." Kate smiled and looked at me with loving eyes. She was surrounded by a subtle aura of a barely perceptible gas cloud. This was the reason for euphoria and happiness. She whispered, "Who are you, Harry? Where are you from? You won't understand." Kate felt herself falling asleep. The dream was deep, black, and dreamless. Harry stood in a bright room and waited. He had a very specific plan dictated by forces much more powerful than all the power structures of the planet Earth combined. A bluish glow began to appear on the white wall of the room, distributed in flashes. The blue flashes were rapidly replaced by yellow and green, mottled, sparkled, and hissed like lit sparklers. Suddenly, the surface of the white wall pulled in and disappeared. Instead of flashes, there were flying lights of stars, the dark blue of space, flying comets, and in front of them, a creature. More precisely, the head of the creature. Judging from the point of view of anthropomorphic science, it was quite an ordinary head, but the rest of the features belied the human appearance. Blue skin, wide-set eyes, no lips, and strong open teeth. Yellow eyes with greenish feline pupils, a hooked nose. The creature was talking to Harry.
"Get rid of this disgusting disguise!"
Harry snapped his fingers and appeared in front of the creature in his natural form. The same bluish skin and yellow eyes.
"My apologies, Supreme. I am ready to listen to your commands."
The creature did not express emotions. The cosmic landscapes were changing behind his back, full of brightness and shaded by movement.
"We've cancelled the plans for a swift invasion. We need their bodies. How is the woman's treatment going?"
Harry sat down on the floor and ran his finger over the white surface. With this gesture, he expressed respect, in accordance with the etiquette of the society of their planet.
"Everything is going according to plan. Your choice is perfect. This woman is popular among the members of their ruling structure. I'll do it right. After 72 hours of Earth time, I have planned the introduction of anatomical control."
The creature blinked its eyes, sticking out a long forked tongue between its teeth.
"I am canceling the implementation of control. The experimental pseudo-intelligent creatures from their planet do not tolerate interference. Their vital coefficient is too weak. Act externally and with substances. I allow multiple sexual contact."
Harry got up from the floor and bowed.
"Is processing also carried out in other divisions of their planet?"
The creature nodded, and a moment later, a white wall appeared in front of Harry again. "If you think that this is not proof of the existence of aliens, then you are right. There is much more evidence, and on our channel we will reveal all the secrets and evidence of their presence. Subscribe to the channel and send me your stories related to aliens by email. You will find contacts in the About the Channel section. Together we will force the authorities of all countries to disclose all the information they have. After all, people should know the truth."